How's it going, all you rabbits? New name for our fans that we just came up with. It's really bad.
So that's what we're calling them?
Yeah, no.
That's what we're running with?
I don't think that's what we're going to roll with.
I was going to say.
But we had a joke conversation right before we started this, and I just decided to say, fuck it. We're going to do it.
Okay.
I'm Tanner.
I'm Max.
And it's episode 17.
Of the Rabbit Hole.
Yes.
We will workshop the
fan name. We need to get the names and the episode number out before we went down this.
It's a working title. But
I literally just said, "What should we call our fans?" And Max goes, "Rabbits." I was like, "All right, we're gonna roll with that."
I expected Tanner to just be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Dude,
and he's like, "I'm gonna roll with it.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it."
I said, "Fuck it."
Yeah. I feel like we've done this the last couple. We gotta start this off with a cheers.
Yeah. Oh my god, you spilled so much.
No, that's like 3 drops.
It's on your laptop. Bob, cheers. What are you drinking today?
This is in my fridge. It is a Bud Light Seltzer, watermelon mojito.
Nice.
I've never even had a mojito. I don't know what this tastes like.
Oh, dude, I don't like mojitos. Because they're like minty.
You know what this tastes like?
Right?
The flavor is good. It's like almost like a sour watermelon.
Interesting.
But the aftertaste is like, have you ever gotten like flavored fluoride at the dentist?
Yeah, that's
like the aftertaste.
That's mojito. I think that's the mojito part. I don't like mojitos. I don't think they're good.
Well, this was gifted to me by somebody who didn't take their alcohol home from a party, so.
Classic. Yeah, I've got just a nice Strongbow cider.
Classic.
Found these at the local liquor store, and I just had to get them.
Which one? Bevmo?
Is it Bevmo?
Right.
Yeah. They're pretty cheap, too.
Yeah.
Just back to the whole theme of this actually being a podcast about alcohol. Oh, no. Okay, I'm just going to keep going.
Time, just go.
The idea that we've gone to multiple occasions where really we just want to talk about alcohol. Theories, conspiracies, and true crime. It's just like a way for us to talk about alcohol.
It keeps coming back.
I still like that idea that we had where we just like have a separate show that we do like solely on YouTube. It's like at the bar.
Yeah.
And we just like test alcohols.
It could be fun.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm very down.
Might need to have like every person that watches it Venmo us like $2 so that we can.
Can we start a Patreon?
So we can buy it nicer alcohol.
Yeah. I think at the very least, it'll be fun for us. And then if people watch it, then it's a bonus.
That's true. It would be fun for us. Yeah. But that's what the whole like everybody Venmo's $2 because I've had fucking New Am and like Smirnoff before. I don't really want to taste test it. Like I will. But I'd rather taste test some nicer shit.
I've got Grey Goose to start with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We got Glenfiddich, I guess, too.
Oh, yeah.
We could always do that.
Yeah, I actually brought the Grey Goose out here, like, when I moved out here. It's like going to school in Iowa. Grey Goose was, like... It wasn't super fucking nice, but, it was expensive enough.
It's like what bars would serve if you bought, like, bottles.
Yeah. So I was, like, under the illusion, because I was a broke-ass college kid, of, like, oh, this is nice. Like, I should save this for a special occasion. And then I just kind of forgot I had it. And then out here, Grey Goose is, like, $26.
It's super cheap.
And I'm like, I've come so far, but I don't know what the point of saving it is.
Yeah, no,
so we could start with that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could also do like wines. Because we get a lot of wines.
We do have a lot of fancy wines.
Yeah. So we could do that every now and then.
Tanner's part of a wine club.
I am part of a wine club.
Bougie like that.
That's true, but it's also delicious. You've had some of it. It's amazing.
I do. I buy into it every single time.
Yep. So, anyways, I told you about this before, that I had like a kind of like a fun idea.
All right, let's hear it.
So now that we're recording, like with a camera, we could like do random shit with like what we wear. Like we have onesies.
Oh, I was thinking about that too. Because
we could wear onesies for one episode.
I got home from the gym and I was gonna change. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna record tonight, but I don't really have anything that I would. I don't know. I'm wearing my boxing Pelican shirt. That's the best I got.
I'm literally just wearing this because I was wearing like a windbreaker before, and then we got into Max's room and I was like, it's low-key hot as fuck in here.
Yeah.
So I just put on something very like breathable.
This whole room that we record in, there's like one AC vent, and it's just
it gets like really. I don't know if it's just like. I actually don't know what it is, but it gets warmer when we record in here.
Yeah,
like for sure.
It's because there's no ventilation, and it's I don't know.
Us just like dicking around, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I had that. I was just like thinking about that earlier, and I was like, that'd be fun to like do a onesie episode.
I'm very down.
Some other random shit. I don't really know what else we could do, but just come up with some random stuff.
Oh, we could do that,
but never mention it. Like we're wearing,
just show up.
We're wearing onesies, but just like
do not acknowledge it.
Yeah, just don't acknowledge it whatsoever. Just like be here with whatever the fuck it is.
I'm down. I'm very down.
We could also acknowledge it. It'd be fine either way. But that's why I want to tell you. I told Max, I was like, I'm not gonna say it until we start the mic, just because I want to hear what you have to say, whether you think it's fucking dumb or you like it. I'm on board. I want it to be recorded.
All right. You guys know the drill. Now that we've talked about alcohol for 5 minutes.
Yes.
You guys know the drill. Our podcast is now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I can't think right now. It wasn't even a long day. I'm just out of it.
Yeah, it's fair.
And officially, we have videos on YouTube.
We do.
We have like these ones. I think like episodes 1 through
3.
X.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, 1 through 3 are up now, and then we'll work on these more. But the actual video that we recorded with
like real
podcast,
video,
yeah, that is now up. It took 4 hours to upload to YouTube after it took an hour and a half to process on my laptop. It was to actually insane. Export it.
And even like fucking with it too. Like I don't really know how this happened, but the audio got like compressed.
Yeah,
so it started off fine, but then the end was not even close.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a common issue or not, because I've never done this before.
No idea.
We were doing this on iMovie, so we were recording with my iPhone, and then using the blue, I don't know, brand mic.
Yeah.
I thought it was like Yeti or something.
I think it's a Blue Yeti, yeah.
Yeah, Blue Yeti mic. And so we started them at the same time. I like cut the audio and the video to match. And then by the time it got to the end of like the hour and 20 minutes, the audio was like 4 seconds ahead of the video.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that happens, but we had to fuck with it kind of a lot. And then the frame rate on the iMovie preview is atrocious.
So it was so hard to tell if they matched.
I was like, I think this is matching. Yeah. You get about a 2-second clip before the frame rate went to like
just dropped
5
off.
Hertz.
It was insane.
And it was, oh my God, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was
but
like...
it's up. I checked. It's like decent.
It does look, it looks
YouTube.
good.
Yeah, the sound's lined up, I think, pretty well.
I think it's good enough.
So it's good enough for... Yeah.
For what we can do. Yeah, you really had to like...
Good enough for 2 like assholes in a bedroom recording a podcast.
Had to like grab the corner of the audio and like drag it like a fucking like a picture in like Word.
Yeah.
To like
it was
open
like
it up.
Scaling.
Yeah. You could like move it as a whole, or if you grab that part you could like scale it. And I was like, how the fuck did they get misscaled in the first place? It was super weird.
That was what I was most confused about.
Anyways, though.
They're live.
We have one.
Yeah.
We have one that's like the real video. We still need to like backlog all the other, not backlog, I don't know, backtrack and do all the other ones. They're like this, that are just the picture that we didn't actually have video for.
Yeah.
But we said we'd get it done by this episode.
I made a promise and I committed to it.
We skipped all the other ones, but he got this one done.
I got this one.
I walked in today and he was like, yeah, that one's uploaded. And I was like, how did you get all the other ones uploaded? He goes, oh, I didn't. He's like, I just uploaded the video. And I was like, okay, I guess that works.
No, I got it. I started it at like 8 p.m. last night. And I just had to go to bed because I worked. So I had to go to bed and then it was done when I woke up.
Yeah.
And it took like 4 hours. If the estimate that he gave me when I went to bed was right, it took 4 hours.
It was actually probably longer than the estimate I gave you.
Probably.
Would be my assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
anyway,
we're through all that.
A month after we wanted to film it, it's finally online.
It's okay, man. We'll have to get like a process down or like a certain day we do it. Because right now we have like the days we do the research and like the day we record and all that shit pretty like well set up. But then like the YouTube stuff takes time. So we'd be trying to do them both at the same time and it was like just so inefficient.
It really was. It was...
Yeah.
But...
It'll be better once we're only doing one at a time. But since we have like 12 to upload, it like makes it take a lot slower.
Those aren't like the worst because you can just kind of do it, let it process and go do other shit. But the video was we'll have painful.
We have another video. We'll have this one. So like once we can get to the point where all we have to do is just...
Once we break even.
One every 2 weeks of video, it won't be near as bad. It'll just be like a one night like adventure.
Yeah. I want to see if there's a way we can get the audio to match up too because that'll cut a lot of time off.
Yeah, that was weird. That it was not the same. Anyways, though, so we're also we checked a few days ago. We're almost at 600 views, so that's pretty badass.
Yeah, no, this episode will put us over. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think what was the one that was doing? MH370 is doing like super good. It's almost at like 40.
Yeah,
which is a lot
because people wanted to hear our opinions on where it landed.
You mean because we figured it out?
We figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I said this already. It went straight down, vertically into the ocean. Nothing broke because that's the only way you could do it, and it's just down there. They're living like it's
a submarine now.
They're like down living in a Bikini Bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're chilling down there with SpongeBob.
Okay,
that's my theory.
Okay. I don't know if I was on board with that.
That's just where I'm at, man.
All right,
that's just where I'm at.
I'm not gonna fight it.
All right. If there's nothing else you want to talk about, you can introduce the topic.
No. Oh, we have to do the obligatory. Might be a short episode, might not. We have no.
Yeah, it could be short, could be long. We're actually like short on pages.
Yeah,
but it's I would say it's dense. Yeah,
it's very dense.
There's like some dense info,
and
here.
also based on our history of no consistency whatsoever.
Zero.
I don't know what that even.
We'll
means.
have like 12 pages, and it'll be a 20-minute episode, and then
Yeah.
4 pages that turns into an hour and a half.
Yeah. So
However the fuck it works.
Anyway, I don't know if you guys are big into cult vibes, but I don't know if any of you.
I
go to
hope no
church on
one's big
Sundays.
into cult vibes.
Yeah, so we're talking about Heaven's Gate today, and I'll let Tanner kind of give an introduction about that because I hadn't heard of it before we looked into this.
Yeah, so I'd heard of this before, just as like a, I don't know, little preview as an outline. Do a little tiny intro, kind of some history on how it started, and then get into like some more details of like what ended up happening with it.
Yeah,
That's just like a very basic outline. See, I don't know who's heard of this or not. I kind of thought this was like a popular thing to have heard about. But then again, I roll in some weird circles of like knowledge about random shit like this because I find it very interesting. So just for like a little introduction, essentially it was a cult. It boils down to being a cult. They didn't call themselves a cult. They were like a religious
they called
group.
themselves a religion.
Yeah, they were a cult.
You can interpret that however you want.
All religions a cult, but this was like traditionally a cult.
Yeah,
you know, with the weird shit.
Yeah, that's the line. The weird shit.
I don't want to go down the path of.
I was kind of trying to egg you on there for a little bit.
I'm trying not to take the bait. Because if you look at like what's traditional about a cult, well, they believe in things that are like outrageous and have no logic.
Yeah,
and they like
super dedicated following.
Yeah, and
hero
they
figures.
do it without like with basically blinders on.
Yeah,
That's also just fucking religion.
Yeah,
but whatever. Again, I'm not gonna take the bait. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So the followers of Heaven's Gate believe that they would be able to transform themselves into extraterrestrial beings. Already on a weird path here. These extraterrestrial beings were also somehow immortal, so I don't really know how that works. And basically all they had to do to like do this was reject their human nature. I put that in quotes because that statement could mean a lot of things, and it has come to mean more than one thing throughout their like progress as well.
Yeah, I'll kind of elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah. So they thought once this happened that they would ascend to some sort of heaven, which they referred to as the next level.
Level up!
Or also the evolutionary level above human. Same idea.
It's like when you get to the next level in a video game.
Yeah.
Like exactly the same thing.
So an event that we'll get... Do you get into the reason as to why their belief system kind of changed? What one event changed their belief system?
I can touch on that.
You know
I know
what
what
I'm
you're
talking
talking
about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't put it in here because I wanted to save it for later. So I can do it now or
Okay.
you can do it then. Doesn't really matter.
I can do
Basically,
it.
something happened throughout their little time that they were a thing. It's actually a long time.
Yeah.
That changed their belief structure a little bit. It was kind of funny.
It's really fucking
Yeah.
funny, actually.
So essentially it changed to, instead of thinking that they would like physically go to a fucking UFO, which is what they thought initially, they ended up kind of thinking like that the human body itself was more of a ship for their souls to live in until whatever, and then the soul would be transported to another body, to like an alien immortal body. However the fuck that works. And then just straight up front, in March of 1997, some deputies from the San Diego Sheriff's Department found 39 bodies in a house in Santa Fe, which is a suburb of San Diego. I think it's technically like Rancho Santa Fe.
Well, it's better than 40 bodies.
It is better than 40 bodies. Not surprisingly, these bodies belonged to members of Heaven's Gate.
What?
It's pretty wild, right?
Not that cult.
Yep. So, they committed mass suicide, if you hadn't guessed that already, which lined up with the closest approach of a comet named Hale-Bopp, which is just the last names of the two people that discovered it. Right before this mass suicide happened, the group, wildly enough, updated their website. They had a website with a message that read, Hale-Bopp brings closure to Heaven's Gate. Our 22 years of classroom here on planet Earth is finally coming to a conclusion. Graduation, which they had in like single quotes, from the human evolutionary level, we are happily prepared to leave, again, single quotes, this world, and go with T's crew, and T's a nickname for one of the leaders.
Okay. Side note, do you want to mention what Hale-Bopp is?
It's a comet.
Yeah.
I mentioned
Oh,
that.
I totally missed that. I don't think you said that.
It was a comet named Hale-Bopp.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah.
Also,
I think I said it.
Side note, I love the terminology that they have. Like, level up, graduation.
Yeah.
Like, this is just... I don't know.
Well, I love the
very
things they put in
normal
single
terms
and like
for,
single quotes too. They're like-
graduation.
I love that they put like this world. Like,
Yeah.
why are you putting that in single quotes? Like, it's so weird. Because that's a broad introduction to this cult, with overall the conclusion of what it comes to.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff in the middle. So I'll get into a little bit of the history, or well, I said a little bit. It's pretty long. So a guy named Marshall Applewhite started his religious stuff, I guess.
That's his name, Marshall
Applewhite is his name. Started like being
God.
into religious-y things in the early 70s. So he's actually fired from the University of St. Thomas in Houston over a possible relationship with one of his male students. It was never proven, but it was like alleged and probably true.
So he's already starting strong with the religion vibes.
Yep. Going after the younger boys.
I don't know if excited is the right word, but I was like, oh shit, University of St. Thomas, but it's in Houston.
Yeah,
there's one in
Houston.
Minneapolis.
I assumed.
Yeah.
I also assume that's why it's called out that it's in Houston.
Probably.
So after this in 1972, he met a woman named Bonnie Nettles, who was actually married at the time and a nurse in her mid-40s. She was
Very normal profession.
very normal.
Like very just normal life. Okay.
So
Bonnie
she
Nettles.
was also interested in biblical prophecy, is what they said they were interested in.
Okay.
Which was something that Applewhite was like, when he started getting into like religious stuff, it wasn't like he became a Catholic. He was like interested in biblical prophecy, which is a whole weird thing. So later in life, like obviously much later in his life, but Applewhite recalled that when he first met Bonnie Nettles, he felt like he had known her for like a really long time, and even said that they must have met in a past life. And Nettles told Applewhite that their meeting had been foretold by extraterrestrials, which that ended up persuading him that he had like a divine assignment. Yeah, so that's how it started. They met each other. The weird thing is like, so he was a college professor, or maybe not a professor, but some sort of like
stupid
university worker, and she was like a nurse. He got fired, and I don't really think she got fired. I think they went nuts together basically. So it was just weird.
It's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah. So in June, Applewhite and Nettles had solidified a basic idea of their beliefs. The conclusion was that they had been chosen to complete these biblical prophecies. Never a good sign.
No, those are just also two of the whitest names ever. Like,
Dude, I know.
exactly who I would expect to be like.
Let's start a cult.
No, like I don't know, like Sunday school teachers or some shit.
I was gonna say
like a small town in Wisconsin.
I was gonna say it's the same exact people you expect to think that they were chosen for some higher fucking purpose.
Also that, but like
Yeah.
just that demeanor, I would expect to like teach
Yeah.
Sunday school in Wisconsin or something.
And random state to choose.
I imagine like a really small town, middle of buttfuck nowhere.
Okay.
And that's the first state that came to mind.
To me, that's like Nebraska.
Ooh, Nebraska would be going too.
Anyways, they also believed that they had like higher level minds than other people did. So basically, they just thought they were smarter than everybody else, which is funny. 'Cause,
Not with the name Marshall Applewhite.
okay,
I don't know, I got beef with that name.
apparently. So they even wrote a little pamphlet which described Jesus' reincarnation as a Texan.
What?
Right, wild choice.
Okay.
And the reason why is it was a very like thinly veiled attempt to basically be talking about Applewhite himself. He was talking about himself. He was saying he was Jesus, but instead of just saying I'm Jesus, they wrote like a pamphlet that's like Jesus was reincarnated as this person, and by the way, he's here. Instead of like him being like I'm Jesus. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They also said that they were the two witnesses which are described in the Book of Revelation. I don't know what the fuck that means. I know what the Book of Revelation is. I don't know what the whole two witnesses shit means, but I'm just gonna like take Google's word for it.
Okay.
That was the thing. I don't know what it means.
I don't know.
They occasionally visited churches or like spiritual groups and spoke about who they truly were. They referred to themselves as the Two or the UFO Two. Random. They apparently thought they'd be killed and then be revived, and in full view of people, be transported onto a spaceship, physically die, revived, people around watching this whole thing go down, like pulled up, like beamed up, I don't know, like Star Trek style, onto a
beam me
fucking
up,
spaceship.
Scotty.
Yeah, like that's what they thought.
People are like at the funeral and they get like tractor beamed out of the coffin.
Jesus.
I must go. My people need me.
The extraterrestrials need me. So they said that this whole thing going down, them being fucking pulled on a spaceship, would prove all their claims and would be referred to as the demonstration. They have so many fucking, like, referred to as blank. Like, they're the UFO 2. Like, the amount of fucking times I had to use quotes writing this.
Yeah, same, though.
So many.
Like, I'll get into some of the specific beliefs later on. I'm the same way.
So, in a extremely surprising turn of events, their ideas weren't well received by existing established religious organizations.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Not a deviation from Christianity.
Dude, wild.
In Texas.
It's actually weirdly a good point. I think it would have happened. I actually don't even know if they're in Texas right now either, to be fair.
Maybe not.
I have no idea where the fuck they are. I just know that he's from Texas.
Yeah.
So the duo got their first follower in May of 1974. Her name was Sharon Morgan. So, 2 first names. Adds up.
Checks out.
She abandoned her children to join Applewhite and Nettles. So she was nuts. But a month after, she basically returned to her kids. So she followed them for a month and then...
No, I checked it out, guys. Doesn't seem like it's worth it.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'm here again. I can be your mom now.
Right. The duo... I'm going to just refer to them as the duo.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of work to be like Applewhite and Nettles.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm just going to say the duo.
All right.
Because it's honestly, I just didn't feel like typing it.
No,
That's really what it was. So they were actually arrested and charged with credit card fraud because they were using Morgan's card. But it turns out she, like, gave them permission, so the charges ended up being dropped. Yeah. However, I think because of this whole situation, they, like, did some checks of the names, whatever the fucking their names are, Bonnie Nettles and something Applewhite.
Marshall Applewhite.
They ran their names through the system, and it turned out that Applewhite had stolen a car in St. Louis like 9 months earlier, and he was still using it. So he ended up doing like 6 months in jail for it.
Seems legit.
Yeah, like random turn of events doesn't really matter, which is kind of funny. That like they were charged with credit card fraud. It got dropped because it was fine, but they were like, but we noticed you stole a car, and you still fucking have the car.
Isn't like rule number 1 of stealing a car is not to drive around the same car?
Yeah, you like steal it, you do whatever you need to do with it, and then you just like dip.
Yeah.
So he was still driving it.
Huh.
Yeah. So the duo eventually, whenever I don't really know what made this happen, they decided to contact the aliens. And
what are they got them on speed dial?
I don't know, dude.
How the fuck do you contact?
They just decided they're like, we're gonna contact aliens.
NASA's like peeking through their door, like, what the fuck are they doing there?
Like, how are they figuring this out?
What the fuck?
It's like they're getting returns too, and they're like, NASA's like, what the fuck?
Some meme like clenched fist, like clenched Arthur fist. What the fuck?
Yeah. So they started recruiting similar-minded people. That's in quotes from me. It's crazy people. It just means crazy people.
No, definitely.
They started recruiting fucking nut jobs.
Checks out.
They actually put out ads for meetings and recruited disciples, which they called the Crew.
That's not a cult. That's just a band.
Another fucking quotes the Crew.
Motley Crue was taken already, so they just went with the Crew.
So at the meetings, the duo said that they represent beings from another planet, which they call the next level. And they wanted participants for an experiment. If you agreed to do an experiment, the duo said you would be brought to a higher evolutionary level. So during a meeting of like 80 people or some shit like that, apparently some shit went down, like biblical something or other happened. I don't really know. I'm sure it was all fake. But they made it look like something happened.
Okay.
I read it. I was fucking confused. Like, I even, like, typed a little bit out of, like, tried to put it into words that made sense. I couldn't make fucking left or right of it. No idea. But what I got from it was that, like, something happened that made him look, or made someone look, or made it look like they knew what they were talking about, or something like that. Either way, the end point of this is that they recruited, like, 23 to 27 people of that 80 to join their group because of this one meeting.
Okay.
For whatever the fuck happened. So they had, like, an actual following at this point.
So they learned a couple, like, card tricks or something, and
Dude,
then...
I have no idea.
There you go.
I'm dead serious. Like, the couple sentences, the 2 that was in, I was like, what the fuck is this?
He did that trick where you, like... Was it like that? Like,
Like, people were just, like, a bunch of, like, idiots in a town of 2 people.
Yeah. People are, like, missing front teeth and like, holy shit, look at that.
So, yeah. They got, like, a good, like, mid-20s group just from that meeting.
It's a solid cult size.
Yeah. So in September of 1975, the duo preached at a motel in Oregon. Apparently, they had sold all of their worldly possessions, like right before this preach thing. And after this little meeting they had, about 20 people just disappeared from the motel and joined the group. Like, out of nowhere. Like, didn't go home, pack anything to their families. They just disappeared, like, from that night.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, like, part of their key beliefs. And like I said, I'll get into that. But, like,
Yeah.
you weren't really supposed to have, like, worldly possessions.
Yeah. So, do you want to, like, they took the group underground. I don't know if underground was, like, you know, metaphorically or physically.
I feel like
I think it's metaphorical.
It would be metaphorical.
I think it's metaphorical. That they were, like, basically they just went off the grid.
Yeah.
Is how we would say it. From that point on, and now I'm going to switch their names, Doe and T, which is what they now called themselves with this little following they had. So Applewhite is Doe and Nettles is T. So,
Okay.
yeah, they're now called Doe and T. So that's what I'm going to call them now, because that's fine to type out.
You know what else you could pronounce that as? Duty.
So they led nearly...
Just go.
They led a nearly 100-person crew across the country while sleeping in tents and bags and like that, and then even like begging on the street. So yeah, but they had about 100 people, which is pretty crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So Doe and T went through a bunch of names before Heaven's Gate like came to be. I just thought this one was funny. One of the funny one to me was Human Individual Metamorphosis was one of the names that group had before Heaven's Gate. Yeah. And just another side note, not really a side note, you probably already gathered this, but it was like explicitly spelled out that Applewhite thought he was directly related to Jesus.
They were homies.
He's
got pictures on his fridge of
he
them.
thought they were related. I think he basically, he thought he was Jesus' successor.
Yeah.
That was what they were teaching and what they thought. So they taught their followers that basically Doe's bodily vehicle was being inhabited by the same alien soul that belonged to Jesus. Jesus is apparently an alien.
Affirm.
And apparently T was presented as actually God. Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
So Doe's Jesus and T's just God.
Okay.
And I read that and I was like, that took a turn because this whole time, like, it seemed like Applewhite was kind of like Jesus and Nettles was sort of like they're like helping out, you know?
Disciple.
Yeah. Like, or like not really follower, but like help found all the shit, like was recruiting people for him. And then like all of a sudden it was like, T was actually God.
So there was like, oh, by the way, like she's God. And she was like, okay.
She's God.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was kind of interesting. I mean, you know. Yeah. So they toured the country preaching and recruiting people for their group. However, in April of 1976, they just like stopped recruiting and became super like reserved and reclusive. They set up like a super strict set of behavioral guidelines. Some of the examples are they banned sexual activity of any kind. They banned the use of drugs, which is weird because a lot of cults like drugs were like a part of it. But they banned the use of drugs. They also made sure to solidify that they alone were the sole religious authority of the group. Don't know how they did that. But apparently they like made a point to make sure their group was recognized them as the religious authority, like nothing else. I'm guessing is basically like fuck Bibles and all that shit was kind of how I took that. Is they probably like got rid of all like traditional religious stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's what that made me assume.
Okay.
So the group actually made a website. I don't kind of touch this, but they made a website in the early 90s trying to recruit people because their numbers had kind of like dwindled since the 70s. So again, like we said, like this is a long cult.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's very low key for most of this.
Pretty low key. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like cults usually don't last more than like a few years.
No.
Like shit like gets escalated really, really quickly. Usually like some sort of authority gets involved, people die, like all that shit. Like I feel like it happens fast. And maybe I'm just incorrect on how long things last, but like 20 years seems to be a pretty long time.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
At least all the famous ones.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe there's something to be said that like all the infamous ones
True.
are infamous because of that.
True.
But I feel like all the ones you hear about are a lot more short-lived.
Yeah. So around this time, like the early 90s, rumors in the group began spreading about the upcoming comet pass by that Hale-Bopp comet. They believed that this comet had the secret to ultimate salvation.
Wait,
somehow.
Did they think that this was like their spaceship?
No, they didn't think this was their spaceship.
No, it was just...
They thought there was a spaceship behind it.
Okay.
Dead serious. Yeah, not sure how they thought that was a thing, but
all right.
that's what they thought. So that's leading into like the mid 90s at this point, because the
Okay.
comet I think comes in 97. Yeah, comet comes in 97, so it's like mid 90s now. I was born in 97.
Hey.
Yeah. So now we'll get into the juicier stuff.
Ooh.
So in June of 95,
Is that because they drank the Kool-Aid?
dude, that wasn't this one.
I know. I don't know how they did this. What was the Kool-Aid one? Was that Jonestown?
I don't remember which one.
I forget what it was called.
There's one of them that was like specific.
Yeah.
But yeah. So in June of 95, the group actually purchased some land in New Mexico.
Hey, they're settling down.
Yeah.
Putting down some roots. I'm proud of them.
They started working on like building a compound, which she never called a compound.
No, you can't. It's
never good.
Call it a compound.
They started building a compound of like sorts though, because it was like rubber tires and concrete. I gotta believe it looked like a fucking murder house. Like,
I was thinking rubber tires and concrete. That just sounds like a paintball field or something.
that's true. But for some reason, whether or not it was just like not going well or whatever happened, they like
They
abandoned.
figured out that rubber tires weren't structurally sound.
They like abandoned it, completely abandoned it in April '96. So I don't know. I have two theories. One is that they figured out it just wasn't gonna work, and they were like, "We're fucked." Two is that they did some shit that pissed some people off that were like local, and they were like, "We gotta leave." So regardless, though, they just totally dipped.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Seems legit.
Yeah. And in October of '96, the cult rented a large home, which they referred to as, air quotes, not air quotes, real quotes, the monastery. Yeah, weird thing to choose. So this house was 9,200 square feet. So it was fucking massive. And it was in that Santa Fe suburb.
Holy shit.
The rent was $7,000 a month, which they paid in cash every month.
Okay, now
I don't know where they got the money. I don't know where they got the money.
Okay.
Same thing happened, I thought, because it didn't really seem like any of them had jobs.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I don't really know. But I mean,
Okay.
I mean, they had like 40 people, but still.
Yeah.
Like, if none of them had jobs.
Didn't you say they were like begging on the street and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
At this point, that'd been like 20 years ago. But,
Oh, fair.
But still, like, there was no mention of them working. I guess there wasn't mention of them not working, but usually cults don't have jobs. So, yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Either way, it was weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So that same month, they also bought alien abduction insurance. Two thoughts. One, what the fuck? Two, why? Because isn't that what they kind of wanted? Didn't they want
incredible.
to be abducted by aliens?
I imagine them like going into this insurance office with just some sleazy insurance salesman. They're like,
Oh my god, yeah.
Hey, you guys got alien insurance? He's like,
He looks at his manager and like, yeah,
Hey, what's
we got
this?
that.
yeah, man.
It's like $10K a month.
Yeah,
or something
just
like
something
that.
stupid.
Yeah.
There's like the health insurance, which is like, I don't know what it was then, maybe like $50 a month or some shit. Probably cheaper.
Yeah.
And they're just like $7,000 a month.
Seems about right. So this insurance actually didn't cover fucking thing. But the policy was that it covered up to 50 people, and apparently was supposed to pay out $1 million per person. Obviously it's fake.
And the fact that that's such a surefire win for the insurance
Oh
company.
my god,
though.
yeah. Yeah. So along with alien abduction, insurance also covered impregnation and also death by aliens.
I thought you were just going to stop at impregnation. It's
Nope.
like, okay, that's a weird limit, but no, that
Death.
or death.
Death.
By aliens.
Abduction, death, or impregnation.
What was their thought process? How are they going to fix or like prove that?
Well, the impregnation would be pretty easy.
No, but by aliens.
Well, I gotta believe it'd come out not right.
Like an alien.
I don't think that's how biology works, but I'm gonna just go with the cartoon definition where it'd be like half alien, half human.
Okay.
I know that's not how it really works. That's how I'm gonna say it works.
Okay.
So, anyways, some wild stuff going on there. This is less wild. It's a little more serious.
Wild. All right.
Between March 19th and 20th, Doe recorded himself in something called Doe's Final Exit.
They're so dramatic.
Yeah, they're so dramatic. In this recording, he talked about mass suicide as, quote, the only way to evacuate this Earth. He again said there was a spaceship, so I say again, he hadn't said this before. Well, he probably did, but I didn't write it down. Basically, this is where he says there's a spaceship behind the Hale-Bopp comet. It's not the comet.
Okay.
It's not the comet himself.
Yeah,
it is
just-
behind it.
Is it like hiding?
I guess so.
It's like afraid of telescopes.
Yeah. And he also said that this event would be the closer to Heaven's Gate. So, yeah. So Doe was able to convince 38 of his followers to perform a ritual suicide so that their souls could go up to the spacecraft that's behind the comet. He also apparently believed that after their suicide, a UFO was going to take their souls to a level of existence above human. And part of their prep for all killing themselves was that each member video recorded a farewell message. God. Just kind of wild. Yeah.
Like me when I'm getting ready to run away when I'm 9.
If you're finding this, I'm already gone.
I'm already gone. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to go live my life.
I've taken my favorite blanket and 1 bottle of water. Don't try to find me.
Found my mom's bag of candy, and I'm ready to go.
You're just hopped up on sugar. You just want to go. You're not even trying to run away. You just want to go run.
Your dad let you have a Mountain Dew while he was watching sports.
He's he's watching the game, and he's like, you fucking have this. So the way they actually killed themselves was interesting. Each member, it was actually really stupid. So each member took something called I don't know how to pronounce this, a phenobarbital.
Sounds right.
It looks right. I didn't know what that was. Apparently it's a drug typically used to treat epilepsy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't really know why they chose that. So they mixed it in with applesauce or pudding, and then washed it down with vodka. I would have used tequila. Vodka seems like the worst choice.
By definition, is tasteless.
But it has a taste, and that taste is throw up in my mouth after I swallow it.
You just taste the alcohol.
Yeah,
I agree. Tequila.
The taste is me puking. That's what vodka tastes like. So
wait, so that was just a shit ton of phenobarbital?
I'll get to it.
Okay.
So that's what they did, and then after they did that, they tied plastic bags around their heads to suffocate themselves.
What?
So why do the first thing?
I was gonna say an epilepsy drug. I don't know if that would kill you, but apparently it did the trick. But no, there's more. They suffocated themselves.
Yeah. And I didn't see anything about an autopsy, which one actually killed them. My assumption is they suffocated first.
Yeah.
Because at least the way it sounded from the shit I read was that they put the little drugs in their applesauce, ate it, took a swig of vodka, and then immediately just tied a bag around their head. I'm sure that maybe that's not exactly how it went down, but regardless, they were like, we're gonna suffocate ourselves for assurance, but that's gonna kill you, so just do that. Why do the drug thing if you're gonna kill yourselves a different way anyways? That's why I said it was stupid.
It's definitely not the best way to do
so
that.
They did 2. They basically killed themselves in 2 different ways, and one was surefire. So why do another? I don't get it. So they were all wearing identical black shirts and sweatpants, new black and white Nike shoes, and even had armbands. They had armbands that said Heaven's Gate Away Team. I am
joking.
Dead serious. I am not at all fucking around. They were basically wearing sweatsuits and armbands. I don't know what the fuck this was.
Okay, so going back, all of these people just wanted a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Because they never made the sports team.
It literally was they were dressed as the bench of a D3 college sports team. They weren't even the starters. They decided to wear the sweatsuits.
I'm surprised they didn't have on the back Heaven's Gate super fans.
Dude, no, because they were the team, man. They were the away team.
Fucking bench team.
So they also all had a $5 bill and 3 quarters in their pocket.
3 quarters.
Yeah, super weird. It was and it's really dumb. Apparently, this was supposed to be a humorous way to tell everyone I left Earth for good. Later, bitches. I think they thought it was funny because they thought they were going to some amazing place. They're like, fuck you guys. And it was the $5 was for covering the cost of vagrancy, and the quarters was basically for you to go use a payphone and call someone that they knew and tell them they were dead.
I imagine them thinking they're hot shit.
Yeah,
$5 bill. Let's leave them some fucking quarters so they can call home.
And that's what I'm saying.
The sheriff shows up, finds somebody, what the fuck?
Just collects the money. There's 40 of them, dude. $5 each.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Not a bad payout.
It's $200.
Yeah, dude, I'd take it.
Yeah.
$200 in '97, worth more than it is now.
True. Yeah.
Are you gonna say no to $200 anyways?
No,
$200 fucking dollars.
Yeah, with 40 people, it's not that much.
what did you want?
I don't know.
You should have found 0. So
That's true.
Yeah, so they thought that was funny. It wasn't that funny. The 2 surviving members gave some interesting insight into the group and their suicide.
Did the 2 surviving members try to kill themselves and fail,
No.
or they just weren't there?
So I think they just didn't do it. And I don't know if they didn't do it, like if that was the plan or what it was. It sounded like it wasn't like a disobedience thing. I think that was like they just like weren't going to kill themselves. I don't really know.
Okay.
Get some interesting insight though. So the matching outfits were literally meant to represent like a uniform for them to be like, you know, like to represent unity with them amongst the group, which was hilarious.
It's fucking amazing.
But the better part is the Nikes. So there's 2 things with the Nikes. So the first one is that the group apparently got a good deal on the shoes. So that's the first.
It wasn't even their plan. The salesman was just like, I mean, if you're buying 40, like, shit, you
half off or some shit like that. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'll take them. And then, they were looking for Air Force Ones and like walked out with some sub.
Yeah, they called them something else. They called them Nike. Do you remember what they were called? Was it Decades or something like that?
Oh yeah, Nike Decades.
Nike Decades. I don't know. I bet if we looked it up, you'd recognize them. But I didn't recognize that like shoe name, so I don't know what they are. But yeah, they were all wearing. It was like the exact same shoe. So they got a good deal. And also, apparently, the 2 people like told people this later on that Applewhite just like really liked Nikes. So, and this is their quote, in quotes, therefore everyone was expected to wear and like Nikes.
All right, so welcome everyone. So here's the deal. I'm Jesus, this is God, and you goddamn better well like Nikes.
I like it even like a whole nother level. Where same intro, he's like, I'm Jesus and this is God. And you see someone wear like Reeboks. He's like, yeah, get the fuck out. You'll never enter the
let this motherfucker in here.
You
had one job, come on.
Just the bouncer wearing like Adidas. He's like, kill him. But you'll never enter the next level of human existence.
It's like the first time the bouncer heard about it too.
Reeboks? Reeboks? Who do you fucking think you are walking into my house with Reeboks on? That's how I imagine it going down.
I don't think it went any other way.
And I also imagine the whole like getting a good deal, everybody wearing the same Nike shoes. I imagine just like Applewhite coming back with like a minivan full of Nikes. And he was like, this is what we're wearing to die. And they're all just like, what the fuck?
He bullets it and I was, look what I got.
Literally. It's like Alex Jones energy. It's like, I have 50 pairs of Nikes.
50 pairs of Nikes. We're wearing Nikes now.
Or, no. Have you seen Rick and Morty?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Is it Nintendo DS or whatever?
Oh, fuck.
Where he freaks out. There's a flashback to him like busting into the house and being like, they're like 40% off if we buy them and sell them at full price. Like we could make, and he like does all this like crazy like he's like yelling about Matt. He's like freaking out. He's like opening a safe, like grabbing his life savings to go buy Nintendo DSs and sell them for a profit. Like that's the energy I imagine he showed up to this house in with the Nikes. He's like, I got them a half off.
You're just like they're sitting down eating dinner. You hear this car like whipping in from outside of the neighborhood. You hear the brakes screech out on the driveway. He like busts in the door, like kicks it down.
Yeah,
guys, check this out.
Literally
amazing.
So that's the Nike thing. Another funny thing. Another funny thing. Yeah, there's more. So Heaven's Gate used to like actually use the whole like "just do it" Nike slogan as like their own, but they would pronounce "do"
as
dough, like Apple. So they would say "just do it," like Applewhite's nickname, and that just made me cringe. I was like, okay,
these were definitely the kids who like got picked last in high school.
Dude, these kids were bullied so hard in middle school. And you know what? Hot take, they fucking deserved it.
With this shit, fucking maybe.
Yeah. You're like 40, just do it. Shut the fuck up, Brad.
They all like jump into a high five. Just do it.
Dude, Brad isn't even that. Brad is like not even a good name.
No.
I was like Zach maybe?
Zachary.
Like he goes by Zachary.
Yeah, or like Jeremy maybe.
Yeah, Jeremy. I can see that. Yeah, Brad was just like my instinct to say fuck you because, you know.
You were conditioned for 4 years.
Yeah, I'm so to say, yeah, like Brads and Chads, but like that wasn't the right name here. So, this is kind of like the last part of this little section.
It doesn't end.
No. Another crazy thing is one of the discoverers of the comet, so Dr. Hale, said this quote: "We are probably going to have some suicides as a result of this comet. The sad part is that I was really not surprised, Comets are lovely objects, but they don't have apocalyptic significance. We must use our minds, our reason.
He was fucking right.
Yeah, he literally was right. And he was right about all of it. They were idiots.
That's such, like, a left field prediction. But he was spot on.
But apparently it wasn't. Like, I don't know. Maybe it seems like a lot of times people end up killing themselves because of comets. Like, with cult-related shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all my shit. That's all my stuff.
That's fucking weird.
It's already been 45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Really quick, would you mind giving me my other drink?
Oh, I would love to.
Because I'm done with that one. I need drink number 2 for Max's section.
I should have, like,
also need the bottle opener. Isn't this great? Don't you? I love doing this while we're recording. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. I didn't open.
Oh, come on, man.
There we go.
Right.
Okay, I'll pick that up after. Let's cheers. Are you getting a new one?
In like 5 minutes.
Okay, well cheers, and then you can go ahead and get started. All right.
So, luckily, scholars have nailed down exactly where these fundamentals came from.
Ooh.
And where they came from doesn't at all explain them. It's just...
Okay.
So, they have no fucking clue. There's 2, basically, origin theories on where this came from, and they're both vague as shit. So, one is, like, the Christianity roots, because, like, all of the Christianity references.
Sure.
And then the other is, like, New Age beliefs. Okay. Which, from what I gathered, is anything that wasn't already religion.
Okay.
So, like, the alien shit, New Age. Like,
gotcha.
Oh, we'll all, like, ascend to this upper echelon with aliens. New Age, quote unquote.
Okay.
So, the most succinct way that I've seen it put is from a man named Benjamin Zeller, who is a theologist. And he said that it was primarily rooted in evangelicalism, but with New Age elements and a loose interpretation of the Bible through the lens of extraterrestrial contact.
So a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, theology is made up. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, theology is made up. Who's a theologist? Okay.
Yeah, so what I took this to mean is they have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, this makes sense and that makes sense. I guess I don't know.
So there are 9,000 different things. At that point, it's none of them. It's its own thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you go to the actual beliefs that the group was told, you touched on part of this, but the group was basically told they would be biologically and chemically transformed into extraterrestrial beings, and their bodies would be transported aboard a spacecraft that would come down to Earth and take them to heaven. And they made kind of a big show of, like, it's going to, like, come hand deliver you to this, like, other plane. And it was referred to the next level, like you said.
Yeah.
Just like a video game. So at one point, the police were revised to include... So once you die, the spaceship was going to come down, pick you up, and take you to the next level.
You could see it. You could physically watch this happen.
It would come down. It would be like a ceremony. They would pick you up and take you away. Until one of the founding members died of cancer.
Nettles.
And there was no spaceship. And they were like, well, actually, the body is more of a vehicle to take you to the next plane, and your soul exists, like, inside of the body, and then your soul leaves.
Yeah. It's a weird voice, man.
I don't know, man.
So Nettles is the one that died of cancer.
Yeah, so Nettles died, and there was no spaceship, and they were like, well,
Yeah. They're like, fuck.
Okay, well, it wasn't, like, an actual spaceship.
I think my favorite thing honestly, just in the world in general, is watching someone change their beliefs so quickly when presented with new information, as opposed to just, like, being like, oh, then we were just wrong. They, like, revise it and claim to still be correct.
Dude, I had a friend like that in college, and he would just make, like, blanket outrageous statements all the time. And one thing me and my other roommates started doing was, like, just, like, subtly, like, challenging parts of that statement and see just how far you could walk it back.
You could change the whole thing, but he'd still think he's right.
Yeah, like, oh, this happened. Like, are you sure? It was like, okay, well, it, like, sort of like that, but it was, like, a little bit less. And like, but if that still happened, he's like, okay, well, like, you just keep going.
Yeah.
It's like, so no spaceship? What? No spaceship. No spaceship.
So one of the things that this reminds me of is, like, flat earthers.
Yeah.
Do this shit all the time where they'll go, okay, we're gonna test it. And they'll go test it, and it'll, like, basically they'll prove that the Earth is curved, and they'll be like, they'll come up with some excuse for why that test isn't actually valid, or how, like, a flat Earth could still look curved in that situation. And I'm just like, you can't be like, this is the test to prove it's curved. if it does this, it's curved. If not, it's flat. Go do it. You get the curved. It's like, well, we exaggerated a little bit on how important this test really is. That's the vibes I got from this. And God, I fucking love seeing people that just are too proud to admit that they're just wrong.
Yeah. It's so annoying, but like it's fun to kind of walk it back. And that's exactly what they did here. So
yeah.
Not on the side of cancer, no spaceship. And they were like, well, there doesn't have to be a spaceship.
Like, well, we said spaceship coming down.
It was a metaphor.
We weren't being serious. Even like the day before, like a week before that, they were like, yeah, no, literally a spaceship. It'll come down to
spaceship from the sky.
They will turn physically into an alien.
So another one. Another one. So they changed their beliefs, kind of like what Tanner was alluding to, and yeah, totally same thing, just no spaceship. They also declared themselves against suicide.
So that's not true.
It is, if you take their definition of it.
Of suicide.
Which is kind of not totally the connotation.
They redefine suicide.
Yes.
You can't do that.
So it was...
Look.
So they also declared themselves against suicide. They defined it as, and I quote, to turn against the next level when it is offered. And believe that their human bodies were only vehicles. So
it's not suicide.
No, it's not. But they're basically like, if you're given an opportunity to die and you don't take it, that is suicide. If you keep living...
That's the opposite of suicide.
So they were like against suicide, but by a definition that wasn't at all suicide.
Okay, so that's stupid as fuck.
Yeah. So it was basically like, you were committed to this next level, and if at any point you turn it down given the opportunity, then you're committing suicide, and we are against that. So by remaining alive, you are against this religion. So if you're presented the opportunity.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
Yeah. So the members of the group also gave themselves 3-letter names with the suffix ODY.
Oh, no.
So in lieu of their original names, there would just be like 3 letters and then ODY at the end.
Do you have like an example?
No, I couldn't find any.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And because Doe and T were like the founders, but they weren't. Yeah, they didn't adhere to that,
right? Because they weren't. Yeah. Trying to think of like what. I don't know. I was trying to think of like if there was like any funny examples I could think of, but I can't.
I don't know, like Melody's the only one that I could think of. That's like 3
a
letters
real name,
/ ODY. Yeah, it is. But that suffix apparently meant children of the next level.
So that's why Doe and T didn't have it.
Maybe.
Because they were like, well, I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. But that was part of the element that required them to just shed all connection of like the Earth life that they had. Mm-hmm. So that was why they gave up all their possessions. They like gave up all their valuables. They all wore the same thing on the night of their suicide. And they gave up all human-like characteristics, like you said. So any like drugs or sexuality, and like at that point, what's the point?
And this was a crazy one too. So if like you've read about other cults, a lot of times they'll do the same thing where like, yeah, they give up sexuality, but that doesn't count for like the leader guy, and he just gets to like fuck everyone. I'm
pretty sure that was the one with that was the case with like the Branch Davidians in Waco.
There's been I don't think it was.
I think he was like, I am gonna be the father for any of these children, and like all of these children.
I guess yeah, because I do remember like he slept with one of the other people's like wives.
Yeah,
like had a child,
and he's convincing her husband to let him sleep with her.
Right.
Like, hey, like this is for the religion.
Right.
Hey, come on, level with me.
He's like,
here.
I don't want this. I don't want it.
I'm doing this for the people.
Yeah. I think that's like a common theme, where it's like the leader gets to fuck whatever they want, and like everybody else has to just like can't be involved. Basically, it's just a bunch of couples and they fuck their wives, and the husbands have to be like, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that, at least from what I found, that didn't happen here. Like
no,
like Applewhite didn't like fuck anybody. Like no, they actually all gave it up.
I'll get into more of that. They actually kind of took that to an extreme level.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did they cut off their balls?
I'll get into it.
I feel like I just guessed it right. So that was a joke, by the way, but I feel like I got it right.
So the evolutionary level above human, and like that's an acronym which they referred to as Tela. The evolutionary level above human. So basically, like the next level. Just
Does that
another
stand for something?
Yeah, since we're the evolutionary level above human.
It actually is.
That's an acronym.
I didn't connect those two. I didn't see the way it was spelled on here.
Yeah, so that was the next level. That was like the physical place. It's like when you die and go to heaven, this is heaven. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like they kind of refer to them interchangeably, but this was like the actual place. Okay. And it was another world in our universe. So you weren't going to like... they don't talk about it like the way that Christianity talks about heaven.
heaven.
It's like you're simply going to be like
It's not.
you
it's
hop
not,
onto the school bus and go down the
It's
block.
not abstract. It's like
No.
a physical, like a UFO just takes you to another planet.
Yeah, they believed it was a physical place in this
Gotcha,
universe.
gotcha.
And residents absorb pure sunlight for energy, and they don't have sex in the next level, nor do they eat or die. They just like exist and absorb sunlight.
Well, I don't want to go to heaven.
Yeah, like what's the point?
Sex is great. Also, fuck, I love food.
Right? I was thinking like, damn, so they couldn't have like pizza or steak or like
Right.
Chinese food ever again?
Yeah. Or
I
even just
could.
like
I would murder a small child for a burrito if I was like in heaven for that long.
hot take. It's a hot take.
I mean, kids suck and burritos are awesome.
Okay,
I don't-
you're doubling down.
yeah,
I respect it,
I'm not proud of it.
but I respect it though.
So, yeah, like no garlic bread or tacos or anything. And in this space, there was a deity, essentially God, like from the Bible. They acknowledge like that parallel, like that same God,
Okay,
but he was an alien.
but they're basically saying it's not the God that Christianity thinks it is.
yeah,
The same.
Like,
They could have.
no,
Okay.
What's it? If I'm gonna get like actually real here, it's my understanding of like God versus Allah, and they're like referred to in the same being, but like Islam and Christianity branch off before we get to the point that we are now.
Right.
So yeah, kind of like that, except God is an alien.
Okay.
Yeah,
More realistic than Christianity. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah,
That makes more sense.
it does.
Well,
It makes
that
it's
specific
less
part that God's an
nonsense.
alien.
Yeah,
not the rest of it.
yeah. So there were also evil space aliens called Luciferians.
wow.
Luciferians, yeah.
Awfully close to
And at this
Lucifer.
point, the names just got lazy.
Yeah, to say that's awfully close
Yeah.
to Lucifer.
So-
It feels like
The Luciferians allegedly conspired against the humans to keep them from developing, and they had.
it's just Christianity.
It is, but aliens.
Yeah, it's just
like
Christianity,
they-
but it's aliens.
It's like rewriting the Bible in a movie for like small kids to like
it's-
give them the metaphors, but not
Yeah.
the actual like this is the
if
Bible.
it's that dude, it's that dude from Ancient Aliens that the meme is from. That it's
Aliens.
him creating a religion.
Yeah.
it's just all Christianity, but aliens instead of like, I don't know, like more abstract beings.
Yeah. At least they were like. I don't know where to go with that.
Okay, solid,
So
solid.
the Luciferians kept humans from developing. So they had spacecraft, time travel, telepathy, and they lived longer. They apparently used holograms to fake miracles. And it seems like their beliefs, like in their beliefs, the Luciferians used to be like them. However, after gaining the powers and like access to this upper echelon, they were like, nah, man, this shit's awesome, but we want to like fuck around on Earth for a while.
because they wanted to fucking eat.
Yeah.
So
basically,
I get it.
They took all that power, but then stopped trying to achieve like the upper echelon and just took it and ran.
I'm on Luciferian team right now.
It seems a lot more fun.
I'm on their team.
Yeah, so-
it makes total sense.
At that point, they just became corrupted and malevolent.
But is that corruption, or is that
Kind of just seems like
is that
having
life,
fun.
man?
Is that life though?
Dude, like fucking hippie, like beach. Is that life, man?
life?
Is Luciferians just the friends we made along the way? Those are my favorite memes, dude. Was like, it's just like, was blank really the friendships we made along the way? And it's the most, someone in a group chat the other day, I can't remember what it was, but it's the most like stupid shit. And it's amazing.
So, like you said, the beliefs of the group remained relatively consistent over the years, but it was like 20-something years.
Yeah.
But there were a few notable changes along the way.
When something presented itself
As a problem,
that proved them wrong, they
Yeah.
were like, well, actually.
So the details of their ideology were like flexible enough to undergo some modification. And like I mentioned, when one of the founding members died, they were like, well, actually, there's no spaceship. And another one was they offered different ways to enter the next level.
Okay.
How they also changed how they describe themselves. They placed more importance on the idea of Satan.
All right.
I'm not really sure why, but I think it was reinforcing the kind of
I was gonna say,
like here's a god and here's the opposite.
They tried to like give them like what happened if they didn't follow the rules.
Yeah. And a few other quote unquote new age concepts, which just means not Christianity, apparently.
Okay.
For example, walk-ins, they were called.
Okay.
We all know that these kids like weren't good enough to try out for varsity, so I had to just like walk on after the fact.
They also didn't make it.
They didn't make it.
Clearly.
So they defined walk-ins as, quote, an entity who occupies a body that has been vacated by its original soul. which sounds confusing until you actually like look at how they used it.
Okay.
And the context for this pointed to walk-ins being extraterrestrial, with their existence being just as valid as that of the members. And how they used that was the two founders, it allowed them to start with just a clean slate, essentially saying that they weren't the people that they had been before the group started. They're just like, hey, like, that was the old me, man. Like, I'm new. I'm a walk-in. Like, I'm an extraterrestrial now.
Born again.
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
Oh my
They
God.
just like they could just decide, like, they could present themselves as a walk-in.
The only thing worse than someone that's super religious is a born again, bro. Fuck that. They're like, yeah, I did meth for 12 years and I don't know. I don't have a lot of examples, but like, it's like not great people. And then like they're like born again, like I've committed no sins. It's like I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah. So this is also when Applewhite originally was like, oh, I have like this divine calling, but due to this walk-in concept, that was the point in which he announced, like, by the way, I'm actually Jesus.
I'm for real Jesus.
Yeah.
This is not a joke.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Jesus was the name of like the body inhabited by the entity to deliver next level information and beliefs.
To next level
And that
information.
and that was Applewhite.
I love when I get next level information, dude.
Next level.
Dude, it's just like you're in college and it's like your year above you friends are like it's like when the people that are a year above you give you like the answers to like a project. They're like, I got some next level information here, guys. It's literally the answers. Like,
oh god, some of the upper level projects were that was so clutch. Anyway, so they just like kept tacking on beliefs, like just throughout the years.
Sure.
Another one towards the end was, and this was another New Age belief, because theology is totally real and not made up.
Sure.
Believed that they were adopted, another New Age belief they adopted. I can read.
Okay.
Was the, quote, ancient astronaut hypothesis. Essentially, ancient aliens...
Oh, God.
I specifically worded it.
I love where this is going.
Ancient aliens came to Earth a long time ago,
used to.
planted the seed for humanity, and now them coming to pick up the Heaven's Gate people for the next level, this was like them coming back to reap their harvest.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
I'm reasonably convinced, and we can get into another time, that humans are not originally from Earth.
Okay. I'd be happy to have it to be with you.
And I want to look into it because I've seen it in a few places, and I think there's some real evidence behind this.
Okay.
But just to throw that out there.
Just by the way.
Just gonna put the meat in the pot, and we could stir it later.
It's a crock pot. You just turn it on and fuck off for a couple hours. I was
trying to use like a metaphor there. It wasn't coming out right.
I think you should call it a crock pot, because my understanding of how you cook with those is you put everything in, you walk away, and it only cooks long enough until you go, oh shit, I forgot about that, and then it's ready.
And that's the moment that it's ready.
Yeah. So
crock pots sketch me out, dude. Like I'm afraid of just leaving one on throughout the day while everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Like it's like an easy house fire.
Yeah, I've been watching the show This Is Us, and there's a house fire in it that's like just catastrophic for the whole series.
Okay.
But it was caused by a crock pot.
Of course it was, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue on.
Anyway, so they were
right about one
coming
thing.
back to collect their harvest in the form of these humans, which are actually like space entities inhabiting human bodies.
Okay.
And only a select few humans will be chosen for this like advanced transhuman state, and that was this cult.
I was going to say, were those select humans? Is everyone who happened to be in this group?
Yep. And
weird how that works.
Yeah. And they made a point to mention that those who did not join would be left behind to wallow in this corrupt world.
That's okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of the overview of their beliefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Left enough flexibility to go, fuck, he's got a point. Well, actually...
Or like when something happened that just like fully proves them wrong, they're like, well, what we meant was...
Yeah. Oh my god. Go back to the Flat Earth episode that we did, and there's so fucking many of those examples. Like,
very true. I don't know if we talked about a ton of those examples, but there's so many.
You're like, okay, well, like the sun orbits, so how do you explain that? Like, well, actually the Earth is flat, and well, the sun does orbit, but like, it just goes in a circle around the top.
And somehow doesn't get sunlight to everything at the same time.
No.
Yeah. That was absurd.
Yeah, so I guess I'll call it the structure of the whole cult, but a lot of fun facts about these guys.
Okay.
So because they were all stand-up normal people, the group was limited to those above 18. So then that way, everyone
really?
was free game for the priest. What?
That might be my favorite thing you've ever said. I appreciate. I don't know if you used to make fun of religion as much as you do now. I hope that I have like jaded you into this.
Oh, you have, yeah.
Yes.
I've never been religious. Like I got confirmed into like Christianity and all that stuff when I was a kid, and I was just never on board with it. Like for the ceremony, it's getting super personal. I apologize.
Jesus Christ, you're just really going into it.
For the ceremony, they want everybody to pick a Bible verse, and they got to me and they're like, "Oh, what Bible verse do you want us to read when you're confirmed?" I'm like, I don't fucking know what's everyone else doing. They're like, well, this one's pretty popular. I'm like, all right, that one.
Sure,
man.
Dude, yeah, I feel that.
And then you have kind of rubbed off on me a little bit.
Well, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah,
Just
priest thing though, like that's never been hidden.
No, that's just
yeah.
Ugh. It's fucking true is the worst part.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so they were limited.
So 18. Interesting.
Yeah, they would only recruit 18 and above. So they gave up, like I said, all their possessions, and they couldn't indulge in any pleasures. The group was really, really tight knit, which is kind of a theme for small cults like that.
Yeah.
Like I read that and I was like, damn, that's weird. But then I thought about it, and in order to commonly believe that, you kind of have to be.
And also, like, you don't do anything else. Like, you're just like
you are just
there.
Like,
yeah.
And I know I brought this up a couple times, but it reminds me of like the Branch Davidian. I saw the documentary, so that's like why
Waco was like this.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's I was like.
But they were all like one big family.
That's how I know it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, when you said Branch, I was like Waco.
Yeah. So shared everything they were like one big happy family. This was weird though, and you kind of touched on this, but apparently, so the $5 bill thing was a thing long before the suicide.
Interesting.
So they would always carry, but only a $5 bill and a roll of quarters, which is $10.
So I had a whole roll. Just carry $15.
Yeah, no, it was a roll of quarters.
That's stupid as fuck.
So I don't know how they went. I don't know why they justified the $10 in quarters.
Okay.
And then went down to 3/4 for the suicide.
It's for the payphone.
Yeah, but I don't know why they started with 10 to begin with.
I don't really either.
Or like $10.
I don't know why they carried 5 at all times.
Yeah.
Like, because, yeah, the way I read the article, or at least the part that I did on the suicide was like, it was $5 to cover some certain fee. I don't know what vagrancy actually is. But
It's.
you probably know what it is.
I think it's like if you.
The name sounded familiar.
It's like something about homelessness.
Is it?
Is it like if you're not paying rent and like living somewhere, then you get fined?
Dude, maybe. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Google it right now.
Oh, let me know.
Yeah, dude. Vagrancy definition. The state of living as a vagrant. Oh, it's homelessness. Okay, yeah. A descent. Yeah, okay. That's weird.
Yeah, so I guess they could get fined for that.
But they were in a house. They owned the house. Whatever. What? I don't want to go back and do it.
Maybe if they weren't paying rent and then their bodies were found.
Dude,
then
maybe.
like,
Maybe. That could
here's
be
your fucking money.
Right. $7,000, they get $200.
Yeah, for real. So we mentioned giving up sexuality. 8 of the male members, including Applewhite,
Okay.
voluntarily underwent castration as a means of maintaining pure sexuality.
Ouch, dude.
Yeah,
Also, I was right.
You were right.
Actually,
yeah, you called it.
So I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
So, like, when you said that, I was like, what, did they chop their balls off?
I was like, oh, fuck.
The moment you were like, we'll talk about it later, I was like, dude, I just guessed it. Fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel bad.
Yeah, it gets worse. You think that's painful? One of their members was a nurse. And they initially had the nurse try to perform the castration.
Oh, God.
And she fucked it up so badly it almost killed the guy.
Did she just take, like, a fucking handsaw and cut his balls off?
I don't
like,
know.
Is castration just the balls?
I think so.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just confirming my own beliefs.
Yeah. But anyway, they underwent castration. So after the first one got fucked up so badly, they were like, shit, no, that's it. We're going to the hospital.
But also
I don't know how that would have gone.
Yeah.
You just like rock up to the hospital like, can you please take my balls?
Right. Like, that
like,
was
oh,
my
yeah,
first
sure.
thought. Like, they just said okay.
Because I know, like, getting a vasectomy is a thing.
But
But that's
way
not
different.
the same thing.
That's way different.
No, that's... I don't know what the medical purpose for that would be. And why they'd be like, yeah, sure, fam, we got
Maybe
you.
they just had like connections to the nurse or something. I don't know.
I have no clue, but that was so just,
Okay.
What the fuck as a whole?
Sure.
So once they got into the 90s, like you said, they designed a website and actually generated some income by designing websites for other people.
No shit.
Yeah, because like in the
I didn't know
90s,
that.
very few people knew how to do it.
I'm actually gonna Google their website right now.
Yeah, so their website, if you just Google Heaven's Gate, it'll pop up, and it's still up, and you can tell it was made in the 90s.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it hasn't been updated. So they still have like the original website up.
Heavensgate.com. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, you're right. It's very much...
Yeah.
I kind of like it, though.
It's like very calming. It doesn't give off cult vibes.
I just love how like the
got,
like
like
90s vibe, like
you got like 90s
the bright
font
colors
and-
with the black
Yeah,
background.
they have like stars in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's classic.
So yeah, it's still online. That was all I had.
There's a big pop-up at the top that was going red alert.
What? Oh, is it about the comment?
It didn't say, it just said red alert.
Oh. Well, there you have it. Red alert.
I think it's still maintained by people, so like
Maybe?
I think that's like new, whatever that red alert's for.
It might be. I don't know. I just don't think it's been updated because nothing's new.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still up. If you want to check it out, heavensgate.com. Or this isn't sponsored. I don't condone Heaven's Gate.
Definitely don't. I don't condone Heaven's Gate either.
Yeah.
But like, look at their website if you want to, just because it's kind of fun. But like, don't read anything and think it's true.
Yeah, honestly, you can read whatever the fuck you want, but just know we'll make fun of it again.
Probably don't think it's true.
Yeah.
Probably bad idea.
Yeah, that was all I had.
Yeah, that's all I've got as well.
Should we wrap it up?
We could wrap it up. This was.
Is that the thing we should do?
So if I want to hear from people genuinely, because I say this every time, and no one ever actually texts me. If you guys like this, because it was kind of like we were trying to figure out what to do, and I was like, we haven't done anything like culty.
No,
like we haven't done anything like this.
We also could do like a cult series.
Oh, we for sure could.
Many.
There's so many. Like we could do cults, serial killers, all that stuff. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure we'll get through it. Like we'll get through a lot of them.
Oh yeah, eventually.
But we just kind of look at it. I was kind of like going through our list, and I was like, this is something we haven't done before. I was like,
Right.
Kind of seemed interesting, so we just like rolled with it. It's less like, it's not really conspiracy. It's kind of true crime, kind of not true crime. It's in the same realm of like, if you're interested in one, you're probably interested in the other.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap.
With like conspiracies and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know how I would describe it. Kind of separate, but like in the umbrella.
Yeah, it's like under the same idea. Like usually if someone's interested in conspiracies and true crime, like cults are also like an interesting thing to them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'd be interested to hear, like normal, if you have suggestions, we'd love to hear them.
We'll take them.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's obviously the big ones that we'll get to eventually, but, we're always up for... Yeah, we're always up for suggestions, and especially if it's like something I haven't heard of before, it's definitely interesting to like research new shit, too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our list was like, we sat here and like, things we've heard of, so at least one of the two of us like knows at least some about like everything on there.
Well, one of my favorites was like one of my friends recommended Dyatlov Pass, and
that's a good one.
I know it was like more well known than I thought it was, but I had never heard of it before.
I'd heard the name, but I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really good one. That one also did like really well in views too.
Yeah, because nobody knows what the fuck happened.
We also have an awesome Australian viewer.
Oh yeah,
on YouTube.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
This dude's
yeah,
awesome.
He's been commenting on a lot of our shit and has been with us from the beginning. I don't know.
Yeah, we just
I thought that was cool.
We just kind of assumed that like everybody listens to us as like people we know.
Yeah. Well, I knew a couple people from Australia, so I figured it was one of them because you can see like the demographics of who's listening, but it's not specific.
Yeah.
So we knew we had like a couple of views from Australia. And we were like, oh, it's
yeah. I
probably
was just saying, I
like,
also know people from. So I was like, maybe it's one of them.
No, somebody totally random, and found us on Spotify. I didn't even know you could discover new podcasts like ours on Spotify.
I do.
Because like if you search the rabbit hole, we're kind of way down there. I know like the New York Times has one and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's really cool.
Yeah,
so shout out to him.
Shout out to him
because like he's the only person I know that we don't know that listens to it. I'm sure there's other people, but like what I know.
He's the first one that like has reached out in any capacity.
Yeah. So that was really cool. Yeah. Shout out to what was his name? Was it Bill?
William. Well, maybe both. I don't know. Do you go by Bill? I think it's William.
Oh, let's just go with William. Shout out to cheers for you, William.
There we go. Actually, I'm gonna check that. I would feel terrible if this was wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. If that is your name, that was the cheers for you. If it's not, we'll do another one.
Yeah, no, William Boss. There we go.
Okay, cool.
All right, cheers again.
We'll do another cheers. We'll cheers for William Boss.
I was right. Cool.
Nice. All right. Well, as usual, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the links are in the bio of the Instagram.
At the.rabbitholepod.
We'll post a post.
we will put a post on the Instagram.
We might get back into some more polls at some point.
Oh yeah,
we haven't done it recently.
I'm gonna be honest. The last couple, it's been like a couple days before we need to.
It's just been too late.
Fuck.
It's usually like Sunday, and we're like, what do we want to do? And it's like it's too late to like spend a whole 24 hours waiting for like poll results.
Yeah,
but like
I think it'd be fun to do another one.
They're fun. They're definitely fun. It's more like we have to get together early and like pick 2 we want to do, and then be like, what do they want? But yeah. All right.
I'm gonna end it. But thank you everyone, and we'll see you next time on the Rabbit Hole.